My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leymans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Summers, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Ready, but yeah, the second Rio semi-final as well. Francisco Comesana against Alexandre Müller. Due to some unexpected stuff, as you can see, I'm on my phone, but that shouldn't be a problem. Also, we had different music. I don't know if we messed something up or was that planned?
All good, Damien. No, that music intro is a StreamYard thing. I don't know why, but they've changed the intro. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if it's better or worse. We'll just have to see. It sounds. I said to Nick earlier, it sounds like you're just sort of getting on a plane and that kind of background music, which sort of puts you at ease before you take off.
What kind of planes do you fly then? I mean, I don't know if my planes ever have background music, to be honest, but it is
Big ones, big.
maybe. But yeah, I mean, I was just surprised, and basically, you guys don't know that, but me and Vansh were using StreamYard for something else earlier, and I was just thinking, did we mess it up? But apparently not, so that's okay. And yeah, Comesana Müller, I know, Vansh, that you are very much on board the Alexandre Müller train right now, so I guess your expectations are pretty high regarding his performance today.
I don't know. I mean, he might come down crashing today finally, but the last three performances were really good from him. You know, certainly he was like not very welcomed at all in the match against Fonseca, as you can imagine. You know, he's just basically battling the pro South American crowd, and then just the kind of stuff he was doing doing in that match when it got really complicated. You know, I haven't seen him play so creatively before, where he's like, you know, coming in on serve and volleys and like just using that wide serve really well, like throwing a lot of junk basically at his opponents, but then also like staying in rallies for a longer period of time without missing. Like he just seems to have kind of elevated in the last couple of months. I know that of course he had, you know, 3 losses in a row after winning Hong Kong, so it's not like, you know, he's just like not able to lose this season. But the thing is, he's become a more interesting player to watch than before. There's more layers to his game than I previously thought, I guess.
Sure, that makes sense. Obviously, he's had so much kind of unexpected progress the last few years. I remember, you know, like 2-3 years back, nobody ever thought that Alexandre Müller was going to be winning ATP Tour titles, that he was going to break the top 100 even. So, yeah, it's very impressive. I honestly have not followed his run too much this week. Most of his matches, they were like very late in the day for me. And simply with like how some of my other activities were this week, I just really wasn't able to follow that. So kind of excited to see how he look here. Comesana is of course a player I very much did follow this week. He had some incredible matches, over 3 hours against Jari, over 3 hours against Haide, and then of course there was that win over Zverev. Before this week, actually, no ATP Tour wins at all. The only tour level wins he had was the 4 Grand Slam wins last year. So it's kind of wild that he's in the semi-final, but obviously it's massive progress in his career. 2-0 against the top 10.
Yeah, win over Rublev in first round of Wimbledon, and then yesterday against Zverev from 4-1 down in the third set. He played some really smart tennis, I would say, against Zverev. You know, he really mixed up his trajectory, like in the sense he hits a lot of backhand slices, forced Zverev to come in, and also Zverev was really uncomfortable at net, which isn't uncommon for him, and also just really passive. So that opened up a lot of court for Comesana to play the drop shots. And yeah, he had that really good point, I think, at 4-all deuce that everyone went crazy about. Personally, I think Zverev really messed up the volley. He really should have put that away. But at the same time, really good speed from Comesana to cover the ground and obviously, close out the game without any nerves. Like it was just a normal match, even though he just took out the world number 2.
Yeah, I think what I liked about this win and this match for him is that like he was able to show more of his skill set than in the previous big wins he had. So like Rublev and Humbert last year, I think it was very different. Like I think these performances just kind of had him serving amazing, that's for sure. And other than that, basically slicing the ball back and not praying for errors, but simply trying to lure them. And that was not the case against Zverev. Like, sure, it was still a performance where he's coming off the back foot a lot, stealing points, but he just had so much more space to just show that he's such an excellent player in terms of the touch, the feel, anticipation, and I don't know. I just feel like he showed so much more.
Yep, definitely, and also combining it with really big forehands as well, because you obviously need that put away shot as well when you're playing against the players. Not enough to just throw in the variety, but I feel like he also, he could finish points with it, and so it was a good package overall. Especially the second and third sets, he felt like comfortably the better player. Although the start of the third and basically until 4-1. I mean, we talked about how on the Igan Carlos show, we talked about how at the end unraveled a little bit quickly for Alcaraz. I mean, it unraveled even quicker for Zverev yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, from 1-4, it never really felt like Zverev is still, the favorite, the top guy. So uncomfortable at the net, as you said. And obviously, I agree with you that it's not uncommon for him. And just you could see that, he's not fully in there too. I think we mentioned that on one of the shows we did together. I don't even remember what it was, maybe like ATP Weekly or something. But basically, there was this one episode we did recently, and we were talking about Zverev in Buenos Aires and how kind of the last few games he didn't fully try against Fran. And here against another Fran, by the way, he also just last game, you can see he's not even attempting to win this.
Oh, yeah.
So his mindset during this golden swing was pretty horrible.
It was, and he was so negative, and so it felt like I didn't expect the crowd to get to him in the way that it did. I mean, he was just kind of in a very moopy mode, just kind of very negative and down and slumping, and didn't look comfortable in any of his matches. Even the first 2 wins that he had, he kind of just scraped them out. Didn't ever play good tennis. I don't think he's going to be playing the golden swing again. I thought he hated it.
I agree. Yeah, the whole time I was watching him, I was like, yeah, I mean, he didn't come here to actually win these events. Like, sure, if it happened, if it wasn't that tough, if he simply run into one of these titles, obviously he would have taken it, fine. But I don't think he really actively cared about the swing ever. He probably just had a very good appearance fee. They had to get a star because Alcaraz wasn't going to play. They had to get someone else who was big. Sinner was obviously not a possibility, even before the ban. So, I don't think he's going to play. And if he's going to play, it's going to be again, pretty much for the money, I think.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that specifically. It's just clear that his heart wasn't in it. And I don't blame him. It's kind of the problem of a top guy playing this part of the season. It was the same for Carlos. That it's not really for them. They don't get that much out of winning, so it's tough for them to have the hunger. And maybe this is why often the golden swing is just a space for basically all the other guys. Someone unexpected to shine, because for them it's the biggest event out there, and for someone like Zverev, well, far from it.
Yeah. Is Comesana one of the faster players on the tour?
He's very dynamic, that's for sure. Maybe he's actually better, a quick acceleration rather than pure speed. But no, sure. I think it's really also dependent on his form and how confident he's feeling. I remember when I went to Mauthausen last year, he actually got injured there in the semis against the king of injuries, so Luca Pui. But up until then, I was just shocked. Like watching him on TV, Challenger streams, I didn't really see how quick he is, how everything about his game is just like so fast-paced. I was absolutely unaware. And when he had that confidence after winning Oeiras, just the game was like rolling. And it was so unfortunate that he got injured there. Eventually it didn't end up derailing him for like that long, but you could see that like the confidence is, wow, he's just buzzing. And thankfully it didn't stop him for long.
Yeah, Alexander Müller, by the way, two really good forehands. Two really good forehand winners from 15-30 down. And then another really nice serve and forehand combination. So he got out of that hole pretty nicely.
Yeah, thank you to the producer for some quick promotion here that I see. I will say something to you now, Vansh, which nobody will understand, but we will not have the intro.
Yeah.
The program just died at like 35%, and considering it's like the files are just so huge. Thankfully, next time we'll be able to do it, but I don't think I can do it. But I mean, at least thanks to that, I will be uploading the episodes soon. You can, as you can see, check out the Carlos Tennis show that was related to this show. And as the episode will be posted soon, I will then switch to the computer. I've been able to watch the match as well, basically since the second game. So things are looking fine right now for us on the, let's say, commentary team here. But first 4 games, I don't know if I've seen anything crazy from Müller, but especially that last forehand, that's again a lot of confidence. I was talking about Comesana earlier and about his moment almost a year ago. But when Alexandre Müller is taking the ball this early and like playing such quick rallies on serve in conditions like this, that also kind of just screams that he's feeling good about his game at the moment.
He is, and I've also noticed him on the return as well in some of the second serves. There's some where he's standing pretty far back deep and willing to get in the rally more, and then there's others where he's kind of doing a crush and rush and coming in, and he's like sort of he's playing both ways, and that's been tricky for opponents to read, especially when you play somebody like Echeverry and he's expecting some rhythm, and he does that, and he didn't give Fonseca any rhythm at all in their first round match. So he's kind of he feels really good about his tennis right now. He's just super confident. Yeah,
it looks like he will be the first player to push for a break here. I mean, I guess he did also in the second. Actually, it was second game of the match. It was Comesana, I guess, maybe, who made the first move. But now it's Müller up in the in a service game of Fran.
Yeah.
Of course, awaiting. Go ahead.
Oh, no, nothing. I was just going to talk about with Fritz pulling out of Acapulco.
Okay.
He says he's been having an abdominal injury since the week before Dallas.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that, but didn't know that it was going to, still be an issue this week.
Oh, that forehand was kind of wild from Comesana, so... First break goes to Müller. So that's 7 points in a row from 1-2, 15-30.
Yeah, break to love here. Pretty in a way, pretty uneventful. I mean, just some wild errors from Comesana, and Müller once more showing that he has the courage to take the ball early right now, even in conditions like this. Awaiting one of these guys in the finals, of course, Sebastian Baez, who is the defending champion in Rio. Last year he won Rio and Santiago, and looks like he will save a pretty good chunk of these points. Obviously 330 in the current system on the ATP for making a final, so only 170 at risk tomorrow from Rio at the very least, so should keep himself within the top 50 easily. And, well, at least until Santiago, but I would assume that he's probably also going to be dangerous there. So very good news for Mr. Baez. Comesana, Müller, they will be the underdog in the final. But let's see. Müller, of course, has just won his first ATP Tour title in January in Hong Kong. Baez, did you watch much of his run this week?
I haven't gotten a chance to watch him a ton. Not as much as I got to last year, but yeah, I actually haven't been following it a ton.
Yeah, I've been a little bit harsh on Baez recently, to be honest, because well, he had 2 good weeks last year, and then even in the European clay season, he did virtually nothing. So it's kind of hard for me right now to just see these events, suddenly leading him somewhere, if that makes sense. But well, maybe this time will be different. I do think he had the game to be much stronger in the European part of the season. He just lost some very tight matches, like blew his chances. Arnaldi, I think, was one of these losses. Maybe there was one against Lajovic even or something like that. But yeah, I mean, the fact that he's never had a big run at the French or at one of the clay ATP thousands, it's a little disappointing.
It is, yeah. His huge slam runs, deepest slam runs have come on hard courts, third rounds, and the hard court majors.
So the Zverev Roland Garros match was the second round.
Yeah. So that was the one where he really had the chance, right? And then
yeah, that was the one that got away.
oh, and then he also played Monfils in that first round.
Oh yeah, another fight setter that he loses in pretty brutal fashion.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're not beating 37-year-old guy Monfils and clay, then kind of your fault as well.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, he also had that miraculous Winston-Salem run in 2023.
Yeah, I think he has what was it, quarters or semis? I think it's quarters that he has 19 on the ATP Tour now, and only one is not in clay, and that's that title in Winston-Salem. He was looking very good going into the US Open there too. Just lost to Medvedev, was it, in the third round? Anyway, he was on 13 wins in a row, I think, or 12 wins in a row after Kitzbühel and Winston-Salem.
Yeah. Good point right here. This time Comesana was ready for it, and this is the kind of points that he was winning against Zverev yesterday. Yeah, Baez this year, I mean, I think he should have gotten past the second round. He was up 2-0 against Sebastian Offner, and he loses that in 5.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, he lost 7-6 in the 5th.
I don't remember that. Sebastian Offner, it feels like somebody who's just disappeared off the circuit as quickly as he came up. But by the way, I mean, yes, here Comesana trying to be a bit of too much of a wizard at love 30, doesn't get the point. I kind of get what you mean with Müller though. That next one, just blasting his backhand cross-court return and closing down the net. Well, not return, but blasting his backhand cross-court and then closing down the net. Okay.
Yeah, I guess Baez, I remember his match against the European match that he could have done better at. There was that Rome 4th round, I think it was, against Hurkacz, where I thought he was going to win, but he ends up losing in 3. But he had some chances there, I think. Potentially go on a run. Jake, the beard, it was too hard to manage. It was growing way too big, so I had to trim it. But it will grow back pretty quickly, so.
Yeah, I remember joining the stream and just seeing Vansh now beardless and thinking, what? Something is different about the guy. You get used to this stuff very quickly.
Yeah. Perhaps a little bit too ambitious there from Müller in this game.
Yeah, but it was like, it was still a pretty decent effort in that point from Comesana. When he had chances for the inside-out forehand, he used them. Slicing, obviously, that's such a massive weapon in his game.
Yeah. I remember the slice causing a lot of problems for Rublev also at Wimbledon.
Oh yeah, I mean both wins that he had last year, the slams, Rublev and Humbert. That's just like good serving and then slicing everything from off the back foot. But yeah, I mean he can pull it off. I remember there was this challenger in Liberec, I think in 23, when suddenly the semis and the final had to be moved to indoor hard from clay courts, and everybody just thought like, okay, so Comesana is done. And yeah, no, actually he did extremely well there. He won the title, beating Blanchet and Koda. But right now it makes sense. But like at the time, nobody knew yet that he actually has a game for like pretty much all courts. But that slice definitely does a lot there in terms of that.
Yeah. And there's that really good drop shot there.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Do you like that this is an ATP 500? Because obviously, it's a little inflated for sure, but
Yeah, but like the Golden Streak needs one, right?
Yeah.
The venue is great. I mean, I wouldn't want the Golden Swing to be 3 events, only 250s. That's it. Like it would be even harder for them to actually gather like proper players there. Let's say the players that they think will be filling the stadiums. Obviously, here, Fonseca would have been the player filling the stadiums, but I don't know. I think the Golden Streak needs one 500, but if we're talking about adding another one, I am not as keen on it as some people are. Even though obviously I've been a big supporter of the swing staying there and especially staying on clay as well.
Yeah, of course, for a while, like from the mid 2010s to early 2020s, they always got Dominic Thiem and Rafa also for some years.
Yeah, Rafa was there, 3 editions in a row? 14 to 16, I think.
Yeah. And 13 as well, right? Or
yeah, but Rio was not there at 13 yet. But Golden Swing, yes. Of course, Rafa, Viña del Mar against Zeballos. Yeah, you're right. We were talking about Golden Swing, and I just started thinking about the Rio timeline, which I think started in 2014, with Rafa actually winning the title.
Yes. Actually, it was that 11 years ago on this weekend that he played that famous match against Pablo Andujar and saved like 4 match points. That was an insane match. And then he ends up beating Dolgopolov in the final.
Yes. No one still to this day has won the title in Rio twice. So Sebastian Baez has a chance for that special achievement tomorrow. Diego Schwartzman made a final a few years after his title, and of course the other player
Alcaraz
had
got
to
injured
do it,
in the final
Carlos.
against Murray.
That was quite a match too. I mean, despite being injured, he was hitting some insane shots.
I know.
think I said on
so
Twitter after that one forehand pass on the run that, like, considering all the circumstances, it's actually kind of the best shot I've ever seen. Simply because it's impossible to hit this in his state, and yet it finds the court.
Okay, so once again, Müller, showing some good staying power in that game, and then Comesana a little bit wild on the forehand, just like he was in the previous service game.
Yeah, very similar in that sense. I mean, he's just spraying.
Yeah.
There was also that drop shot that he missed at 15-0, which I think was kind of like an overreaction to the previous dropper, where it was so good that he felt like, I should go for this. And he was playing it like moving backwards behind the baseline. I mean, it would have been very surprising if it lands, that's for sure. But
yeah.
So yeah, so far a bit of a wild match. I guess that's more or less what we came here for.
Yeah, we came here for a bit of mess for sure.
Definitely a bit more of a showman, Comesana as well. The entertainment value, and he played Zverev, kind of how he, got the crowd on board was pretty big too. I don't know, because I'm watching on mute, I don't really know how it is today, but I'm assuming people will be a little bit more warmed up to his game than to Müller's.
Oh yeah.
By the way, what about that Cerundolo? Did you watch the match against Cerundolo yesterday?
I saw parts of it. Yeah, a good chunk.
Yeah, someone told me that like Fran wasn't fit in the second set, but I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, something seemed to be bothering him for sure. He definitely looked like slower and not quite moving his best.
Okay. Yeah, someone told me that, but I didn't find the guy reliable. So I was like, okay, let me confirm with Dr. Vanch, and now I know. Okay. Of course, guys, wait until the end of this stream for sure. But if you want some light tennis viewing after this stream is over, after this match is over, definitely recommend the new episode that just came out on the Iga Carlos Tennis Show channel. In other words, it's gonna be there for you once you finish this one with us. And that means also I should be able to get back to you off my computer soon. I don't think it matters a great deal, but the mic will be a bit better. And I will be able to read the chats as well.
Cerundolo yesterday actually said after he lost, I faded away like a candle.
Is that an actual phrase?
He said that physically he felt the effect of last week, and mentally he just couldn't put in the same effort. This is from Punto de Break actually, so pretty reliable source.
Yeah, I like that. First, faded away like a candle. That's very.
He said I kept getting worse and worse and worse, and yeah, and then he said that Müller also got to a point where he was playing super comfortably, where he became super unpredictable, and he played a backhand. He said he played a backhand here, there, forehand, high, cross court, short, and the match became very uphill. Interesting analysis from him.
Well,
and obviously, I'm reading the
goat.
I'm reading the Spanish translation to English, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, I guess, but I didn't know if I wanted to ask. Okay, just give me.
That was probably Vanch, probably one of the South American media outlets that they've just sort of lifted that quote from, I reckon. Kleiner Clay Magazine are in Rio. And there's a few others as well. They probably just got it from the press conference. But yeah, that does sound pretty solid. I have got a couple of questions for Damien, actually.
Okay. Give me 5 seconds. I'll just turn off my computer, and then you can fire with this.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Punta de Break, they